think we're all here. Woo! First concert of the year. Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael Pace. I have the proud privilege of teaching these children every single day. The group that is in front of you right now is made up of 6th graders and 8th grade members that started an instrument this year. All right, so we have come a huge way. But before we get started with everything, let me go ahead and introduce who is really responsible for us being here. We have a lot of our administration here today. Miss Melanie Sigler is our new principal over at the middle school, and she's doing a just bang-up job of leading us in this new direction, and I'm really excited to have her there. Adria Whitworth is also somebody who just constantly is in support of us, and of course Mr. Howard McGlennon, who has a very detailed past here in Jefferson. Of course, everything that's happening up on stage right now would not be if you guys didn't, rent the instrument, get them here on time, and get their instruments and their clothes and everything like that. So thank you guys as well. We are going to play just a few things just to show you how far they have come in the past 8 weeks. Yes, 8 weeks. And the best way that I think I can start this out is by playing you the first sound that we ever made as a group. Okay? And I've got my people up in the sound booth that are going to help me out. So I want you to take this in, okay? So the first day, they open up the case, some of them the wrong way, which is always a terrifying thing to watch that instrument spill out onto the floor, oh Lord, right? Pick it up real quick. And so after that happens, we put it together and we show them how to, make the read happen and everything like that. And then the next day, we actually play the sound. Do you guys remember your first sound? It's like burned into your memory, right? Well, if they don't, they're going to hear it right now, as will you. So guys up top, would you please go ahead and play what the first day sounded like?
Sit up tall. Here we go. 1, 2, don't overplay.
That's enough. That's enough. Man, oh man, that is the coolest moment and the most terrifying thing you can ever experience as a teacher. You sit there and you're like, just go for it, kids. And in your mind, you're going, oh, Lord, what am I going to do about that? All right, so, well, with a lot of work and a lot of patience from their part, which is really hard in 6th grade at the end of the day, they push through and they're able to produce that sound a lot better now. And you heard us warm up with it, but now they're in the zone. So I want to get them to play that first note at this point. Hold on just one second. Y'all ready? Here we go. Isn't that nice? This is where I make the joke up. My job here is done. I'll see you guys in Christmas time. No, I'm kidding. All right, so that has come a long way. Yeah, a long way. And you listen. That's one note, but one note is really crucial to us. And we go every day. We start that one note, and I say that we've learned 5 at this point. Make the other 4 sound like that 1 now that you know how to make that sound. We're going to play our first exercise for you. It's number 11 out of the book, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with this book at this point, been doing these pass-offs and things like that. But we're going to go ahead and play number 11. It's just an exercise using the first 5 notes. Here we go. That song they have never heard before And so they had to kind of learn that one. But this book uses a lot of familiar tunes, and what it does is it goes ahead and kind of associates those tunes so that they can hear what they're playing. All right, so the next one is pretty familiar too. It's Mary Had a Little Lamb. But I'm just going to go ahead and let these percussionists in the back, this army of percussionists back here, go ahead and get settled. And then we'll go ahead and play number 14 for you. This is called Rolling Along. It's actually Mary Had a Little Lamb. I know, right? Oh my gosh, it's coming along so well. And then the next book, or the next exercise, employs different kinds of notes. All these notes that they've been playing are called quarter notes. They only get one beat. And so now we start stretching the air to last for longer. And so we have notes that last for 2 beats. They're called half notes. So this next exercise uses those notes. And again, it's kind of unfamiliar. So they had to learn this one on their own. But here we go. This is the half counts, number 16. I tell the students that this is one of my favorite concerts of the year, if not my favorite. This is the coolest thing to see these 6th graders that, in my mind, you know, the very first days being as terrifying as they were, and sometimes just as hard as they were. I mean, this is so foreign to everybody. I tell them, you know, this is not something you're born with. This is something you actually have to learn and develop and everything like that. And for them to be able to do what they're doing right now as well as they're doing is just so cool to see. The next one is hot cross buns. That's number 17. We've got a couple more exercises and then we'll change things up just a little bit. That's 17. And then we'll go ahead and go on to number 18 called Go Tell Aunt Rhody. just a couple more things for you. This next section of the concert, I like to introduce you to basically every instrument that's going on up here. We've got a lot of different things up here right now, and they all sound different. And if they don't actually try to work to sound the same on these instruments, it sounds like what you just heard right above. And so we've been working really hard on what's called blending, balancing, but we're going to go ahead and just introduce you to some sections. The first section is the flutes. Flutes, will you hold up your instrument for us, please, ladies and gentlemen? Check these nice little silver flutes out. So, we're going to get one of them to play it for you. It's a nice light sound. Jonathan Crisp is going to play you a little Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Go ahead, buddy. What? It's just so cool, isn't it? Moving on, the second row, these are clarinets. Hold them up for us, guys. I'm going to assume those are students. I don't know if you guys would really be that excited about clarinet. I am, but you know. All right, so we have one student demonstrating clarinet for you. It's Lanier Ashley. She's going to play you Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star too. Go ahead, Lanier. Way to go, Lanier. Awesome. Now, we go to the clarinet's, I guess, older cousin. Hold these up for us bass clarinets. These are a little bigger. All right. So, Miss Kimberly right here is going to play you something on bass clarinet. This is an ode to joy, a little Beethoven for you. Go ahead, Miss Kimberly. Then we move to an interesting cousin, distantly removed. This thing uses two reeds flattened on top of each other, two little pieces of wood. It's called a bassoon, and I think it sounds like a confused old man, honestly. Isabel Sapp is going to play it for you as soon as she stops dangling it in the air like that. That's terrifying to watch, by the way. She's going to play a little exercise out of the book for you guys. You go ahead when you're ready, Isabel. Anybody hear the confused old man in that? I do. Nice job. Moving back. We have the alto saxophones, the small army of altos back here. And we're going to have Mr. Micah Maroney play you Amazing Grace over here on alto. Listen to this. We have some lower saxophones called tenor saxophones. Hold these up, guys. Hold them up for us as best you can. Tenor, hold them up, hold them up. There we go. There they are. Tenor saxophone is just a larger alto is what it is. And so Claire Dugan is going to play you just a little exercise out of the book. Go ahead, Claire. She's going to play you one note. Never mind. She got that one note, didn't she? Go, Claire. Then there was the monstrosity. And Kirsten Geis is going to show you this the best that she can. Kirsten, stand up with this thing. It's called the baritone saxophone. I say it's something like Dr. Seuss, right? It just looks so ridiculous, but it sounds really cool. So Kirsten, play us some bari sax. Well, it is not working at this moment. Make sure the reed is wet, all right, and we'll get back to you. Moving down the line, give Kirsten a hand, everybody. She gave me this look. She's like, what's going on? I don't know. Let me send my power over there. I don't know. All right, moving on. We're going to go to the brass family. That was all our woodwind instruments. Woodwinds, raise your hand for us real quick. Woodwinds. Hello, woodwinds. All right, moving on. We're going to go to the brass family, and we're going to start with the highest instrument in the brass family, and that is the trumpet. And Hudson Hodge is going to play you something right here. Give him a second to play some notes. Little Bruno Mars, right? A little bit. One of the most difficult instruments to start out on is the French horn. They have the system of notes where it's really easy to hit the wrong note, and so they have to kind of really work hard in listening. We're very fortunate to have some really good horn players already in this group. Horn players, will you hold up your instrument for us, please? They just look beautiful, don't they? So our two sixth grade horns, Megan Jacobs and Nolan Smith, are going to play you a little exercise. Guys, play your first note together. Play your hand together. You go ahead when you're ready. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3. And that is the best that's ever sounded. Good for you guys. That's awesome. Moving on, here comes the trombone. All right, hold us up, guys.
Woo! Play the trombone.
This instrument actually comes from one that was invented in the 1500s called the sack butt. A little trivia there for you. Playing it for you is going to be Miss Anna Crisp. Anna, raise your hand for us. And we're going to get a little help from the players on stage too. 8th grade, you don't really know what we're doing just yet, but just pay attention. You'll catch it real quick. All right, Anna, 2 times through, and then band, you know what to do. Here we go, Anna. ready for a football game, right? Moving on over to the phonium, which looks like a small tuba, one that ended up in the dryer. Jacob Cox is going to play this for you. Jacob, go ahead and play your exercise for us, please, sir. Nailed it. And then, just like the baritone saxophone was the monstrosity of the woodwinds, here we have the tubas. Can you see them? All three of them. And I gotta tell you guys, these three can put out some sound already, which is just something that we need, right? It's like the bass switch in your car, right? We really want to feel that sound. And so this is how we feel it, this depth to the sound right here. Abby Seiler, she's gonna play you a little, it's Old MacDonald, right? Play it first, go ahead. Way to go, Abby, yeah? All right, they're kind of in the dark right here, but our percussionists, raise our hands, guys. Here we are. That's you. And these kids are with it too, man, oh man. I rely on them all the time. I'm like, everybody play that note so that we can hear it, and they're all there. They play in time. I just love it already. But we're gonna get one of them to feature the mallets for you, the bells. This is Tucker Barton right here, and he's gonna play you a little Star Wars medley. Here he goes. Creepy, right? And then in the back, we're gonna get just a few drums for you. This is the bass drum and the snare drum, and it's Keegan and Lex Dolezal. Keegan Walker and Lex Dolezal. If you guys will go ahead and start just counting each other off. You got it. Awesome. Thank you for your patience through all that, but I think it's really cool to listen to these kids, attempt to do something for this size of a crowd. It's just mind-boggling. I would never have done something like that in the 6th grade. That tells you something right there, right? So we're gonna get those soloists, stand up and give them another round of applause, please. Soloists, stand up. So all these instruments combine together to make the sounds that you hear when we're all playing at the same time. They still want recognition. Y'all are good, go ahead and have a seat. Yes, more. All right, so now we're gonna play a piece that highlights the sections. It's called Listen to Our Sections. It starts with percussion, moves to woodwinds, and then the brass, just to let you listen. Here they are. last selection for you, I do need to thank just a few people. If you'll notice your programs there, the concert this evening is brought to you by one of our sponsors. If you look through that program, we have several sponsors that are helping us out right now. That's because these students are doing great things. There's a lot of high schoolers that are helping me out right now. They are playing on Friday nights and just making a great name for this program. These students right now are the next generation of that, so we hope to keep building that. But we would not be able to do this without their sponsors. And so we would like to thank Howell Orthodontics tonight for all that they do. And many of you guys are in business with them anyway, so that helps out too. Of course, parents, thank you guys so much for everything that you contribute to the success that they are having right now. What they sound like now, don't get used to it, because even next time it's going to get that much better. So every time you're just going to be amazed at what happens. The next time you hear us, we'll be playing full-on sheet music, all right? Different pieces, if you will. There is one thing that I want to plug for you guys. The breakfast tomorrow morning, that is a reward breakfast, is open to all students. It starts at 7:30. I'm bringing in some things, but if you want to send anything in, it's going to start at 7:30. They can bring it in as early as 7 o'clock, all right? But before we end for the evening, if you guys would just help me out, give these kids just one huge round of applause. I'll tell you, in the age of technology, when we get things almost instantly, this is not something that happens instantly. And so it teaches children the importance of hard work and the value of that, that payoff of that kind of hard work. So I hope that you guys keep working hard. I know that you will. And if you slack at all, you'll know it. But we're going to go ahead and move on to our last number. It's number 25. Again, thank you all for coming out. Please stay for the other groups. We'll get the stage reset for the honor band next. Here we go.